Hey guys, Rusty, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Cool, hey. Hey guys, Rusty over here, and today I finally managed to pull myself away from playing Classic World of Warcraft to actually recording a video on Classic WoW. Because listen guys, I've always planned on playing Classic WoW casually. I never played vanilla, so I thought I'd just play it casually, be like a new game for me. I am beyond shocked at how much I'm addicted to this game right now. Like, I can't log off. I was struggling to log off just to record this. Like, I told my friends, yeah, don't worry, I'll be on in 2 hours, boys. We'll play some Halo 2, we'll play some Halo 3, we'll kill some motherfuckers. 2 hours go by, I'm in a dungeon. Yeah, guys, sorry, can't get on right now. My car got AIDS. Back on Classic WoW. So I just want to take a look on the goods and the bads, like so what do I enjoy, what do I not like about Classic WoW so far. Again, because I think I'm only level 39, which is not great, but it's also not terrible, right? So I played enough of the game to get, I feel like, an okay opinion on at least the leveling of it so far. We'll leave the end game for when I actually get to the end game. And please, feel free to leave a comment below letting me know what you think of Classic WoW so far. Do you agree with what I have to say in the video? Do you disagree? Is there something I didn't mention in the video that you really like about Classic WoW? Is there something I didn't say in the video that you really don't like about Classic WoW? Feel free to leave a comment below, or if you just want to call me an asshole, I'm fine with that too. So, one of the first things that I immediately noticed while I'm leveling Classic WoW is how much I have been grouping with other people. Literally, it's not even because of difficulty. It's strictly because of mob tagging, or at least in the earlier levels, it's mainly because of mob tagging. Eventually, you get to the elite quest where it forces you to group, but either way, whether it's through difficulty through elite quest or through mob tagging to name mobs, the game forces you and encourages you to group, which I think is an excellent thing in an MMO to have. Think about it, when was the last time in leveling you were forced to actually level with someone? I can't remember I think the last time I actually grouped with someone was, there was one quest in Frostfire Ridge in Warlords of Draenor, where it was like an elite ogre, where I actually had to group with, I think, like 2 other people, because he actually hit kind of hard. But point being, in modern WoW right now, or retail WoW, there is no reason to group with anyone, besides maybe you just want to level with a friend. Like, the last person to ask me to join a group of leveling, I didn't like that. It actually made me angry that they came up to me and asked to level with me. It's like, why? Just level yourself. I honestly think that in the retail WoW next expansion, they should remove shared mob tagging. I honestly think they should do that. It inspires people to group, it encourages people to group, and I think it's an excellent mechanic in the game. It inspires or encourages social interaction, which in an MMO I think is great. You're gonna have all these people like, well, I'm shy. Why are you playing an MMO then? It gets these people out of their comfort zones, and it encourages them to level in groups. I'm not trying to make, like, long-lasting friends out of these groups either. Like, I maybe say, like, a few words, we complete our quest, we go our separate ways, or even better, we continue to do more quests together because we stay on the same quest and we stay in a group. And then I actually make some friends. I already made, like, 2 friends that I still quest with on Classic WoW. Again, I never played vanilla. This is all new for me. I was shocked by this. I think the only Classic WoW I played, I think I got to like level 5 on the stress test. That was about it. And I'm having a blast, and one of the main reasons for that is this basically the encouragement to group with players through not having shared mob tagging, unless you're in the group, of course. And of course, you have your elite quest, which encourage you to share as well, because good luck selling a high-level elite quest. Now, in my opinion, social interactions, both positive and negative, are very important to an MMORPG, if not the most important thing to the game. However, something that's also important, at least to me, and it's something that I've noticed in Classic WoW, is how awesome and how great it feels to get an item upgrade. And I'm just leveling, guys. Like, again, I'm not at the end game yet. I'm level 39, and getting item upgrades while I'm leveling feels so good. Now, there's 2 reasons for that, at least in my opinion. One of them, and the big one for me, is there's literally no gear randomness in Classic WoW besides either it drops or it doesn't. That's it. Like, once you have the item, you have it. There's no Titan Forge RNG. There's no chance that it could have rolled higher. There's no chance that it could have rolled a socket. There's no chance that it could have rolled a tertiary stat. Like, I don't think to myself when I get an item, like, man, this item's good, but it could have been better, meaning it doesn't feel as good to get the item. In Classic, I got my first green dagger. It felt awesome, and I knew there was no chance of getting a better dagger, at least for that item. Obviously, I could have get a different dagger that could have been better, but you get the point. There's no gear randomness in Classic besides either it drops or it doesn't. Now, the second reason that gear upgrades feel awesome in Classic is because of how dangerous the world is. Now, in my opinion, that's mainly due to how combat works in Classic, and more on that later, because that's one of the negatives and one of the things I truly fucking hate about Classic WoW. The world being dangerous in Classic, when you get these gear upgrades, even a white upgrade, a better white upgrade, getting more armor, you notice you're taking less damage. You notice you eventually get more health if you get more stamina item. Again, if you get a weapon upgrade, you feel yourself doing more damage and basically making your life easier in the Classic WoW world. While you're leveling in BFA, you just crush, or Retail WoW, you just crush everything in your path. You don't give a fuck. You could probably take all your gear off and level perfectly fine. Hell, that's why the Iron Man challenge exists, and I died to it like 13 times. I don't know why I'm in that. Anyways, Classic WoW world being much more dangerous, I feel is good. I'm not a big fan of why it's dangerous. Again, more on that later. I think there's something that could be improved on that. However, the fact that it is actually dangerous and you could actually die in it makes, in my opinion, gear upgrades while you're leveling much more meaningful. And I feel that is very important to the game. Now, just real quick, a third reason I feel item upgrades in Classic WoW are much more meaningful and exciting is that when you get an item upgrade, you know, or chances are you're going to be with that item for a long time. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm still using a level 20 dagger from Black Fathom Deeps, and I'm level 39, guys. Like, I've been with this for a while. I want to get rid of it. I need a new dagger. Which, by the way, soon, I'm just going to finish this quest in Scarlet Monastery real quick. Anyways, point being, in Retail WoW, while you're leveling, you get an item upgrade, chances are you're getting rid of that in literally maybe 30 minutes or an hour. Now, I'm not really sure how Blizzard could fix that with there only being 10 levels in every expansion to level, and basically leveling going so quick. However, I just feel it's just another reason that in Classic WoW, item upgrades while you're leveling, they're with you for a while, so they're a little more special. But again, I'm not sure how Blizzard could really fix that in current WoW. It's something I would have to really think about, which I'm not going to do right now. I'm going to keep recording this video. Now, while you're leveling in Classic WoW, you'll eventually come across a quest, or multiple quests, that sends you into a dungeon, and I absolutely love that, and it's actually something they do in Retail WoW. They started in Legion, where at the end of the quest line, or end of the zone in Legion or BFA, you'll get a quest that sends you into the dungeon. I think they could add a little more quests in the Retail WoW to go into those dungeons to make it a little more encouraging, even though you do get a lot of XP from it. I still think they should add a little more quests, essentially, to make it more encouraging. Point being, I like that there's quests in Classic and Retail that send you into these dungeons and encourage you to do these dungeons. Now, I want to make a separate video on my opinions on Classic WoW dungeons so far compared to Retail, especially involving Mythic Plus. However, again, that's a different video. I have a lot to talk about for that. In terms of leveling, I like how in Classic it encourages you to go into there, and how, again, items in the dungeons are very meaningful that you get from the bosses and the quest lines. I love that. And again, I also like how in Retail WoW that there's the quests that encourage you to go into the dungeons. Obviously, it doesn't have the same thing in Classic where the items are as meaningful, again, in my opinion, though. Both are doing good. Now, I do believe those things that I just talked about are what got me really hooked into this game, got me really addicted, and want me to keep logging on to play more and more of Classic instead of Retail. However, there are a bunch of small things that add to that, and one of those things, it's something that I actually made a video on, or part of a video on, and noticed during the stress test, actually, is how good it feels, and how relieving it is to actually go back to town. Like, why do you go back to town in Retail? Maybe to hand quests in and get some rested XP. Now, you do that in Classic, and it still feels just as, well, it actually feels better to get rested XP because how long it takes to level in Classic, but that aside, it feels awesome to go back to town. One reason for that, right? Money is important. Why is money important? You need money to train your abilities. Money is more rare in Classic, by the way. You need money to train your abilities, and you eventually need to save 100 gold or 90 gold for the discount for when you hit level 40 to get your mount, right? So you're going around, you're looting everything. You're looting grays, whites, gear, everything. Your bags are filled to the top. You can't loot quest items anymore because your bags are so filled. You want money. You have to start deleting items. You eventually get back to town. You vendor all that. Oh my God, is it a relief, and does it feel good to see your bags empty and more money? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, another reason I feel it feels awesome to go back to town is that every 2 levels, if you don't know, you don't automatically learn abilities in Classic. You have to go to your trainer and manually train them and learn how to do them. I know, guys, an RPG element in an RPG, it's really, like, I'm shocked that Blizzard had the balls to actually do something like that. I'm a big fan of it, by the way. Now, again, going back to town every 2 levels to train your abilities, it gives you something to look forward to. It's excitement to go back to town, and I love it. I also love these RPG mechanics where I have to go back to town as a rogue to buy reagents for my poisons to, again, make my poisons and then apply it. Again, another reason, at least for a rogue, to be excited to go back to town, because I have no clue where else to buy them, by the way. So if there are other places to buy reagents for poisons, let me know in the comments below. Thanks. Anyways, point being, again, this is something kind of small in my opinion, but I think it is awesome to go back to town, at least compared to the other things I talked about. I think it does feel really good to go back to town. Now, kind of staying on the same page of training abilities, I'm a big fan, a very big fan, of different ranks for abilities. Basically, you go back to train, like, for example, you go from rank 3 Eviscerate to rank 4 Eviscerate. It does more damage, essentially. Now, in my opinion, again, it gives you something to look forward to when you're going back to town. It might not be a new ability, but instead of getting nothing, you get a new rank of an ability. That's the way I see it, and I think it's actually very nice. Now, I have talked to a guildie about this, and basically, what's the difference between refarming a new rank for an ability and learning a new ability, and the difference between refarming Azurite traits, which was one of my big problems with Azurite, which they have now fixed in Eternal Palace, by the way. Essentially, with Azurite gear, you're refarming artifact power, just relearn the same traits that you had last year. So you got the same traits from old area, again, you just had to refarm to relearn them in the Zara lore. Again, this was fixed in Eternal Palace, it's fine now. However, the difference, in my opinion, at least for Classic, is that this is something you're getting while you're leveling. This isn't the main grind. The main grind isn't to earn these ranks. It's just a side reward that you get for leveling. The main grind is to get new levels. With the Azurite gear, in my opinion, you wanted these traits. That was the grind, so it didn't feel as good. Your new reward was the same trait you had last year. It doesn't feel as good, in my opinion. Again, your main reward while you're leveling is you get your next level. And then again, your side reward for leveling, you get to learn some new ranks. It's better than getting nothing, in my opinion. And that's why I like it. Now guys, obviously I am very positive towards Classic WoW, and I really think its leveling is completely superior to retail WoW. However, there are some things that really annoy me about Classic, because guys, let's be honest, no game is perfect, except Halo 3. So let's talk about some things that really annoy me about Classic WoW. The main big one is its combat, guys. Oh my God, it drives me insane when I go over to a mob and I'm attacking it, miss, dodge. I can't do anything about it. It's just a random miss or a random dodge, in my opinion, guys. It doesn't feel good at all, and I think it's very, very bad, and it's something I'm so happy that is not in retail WoW. Obviously, you can still get parried in retail WoW, but that's obviously fixed. You just stand behind the mob, which I think is okay, because you can control that, and there's no randomness in it. Kind of sounds like Titan Forging, right? Anyways, point being, I don't like that you could your attacks can randomly miss or randomly get dodged. I'm not a big fan of that. Another thing about combat that I'm personally not a big fan of, however I know some people are, is essentially how slow almost all the classes feel like. I'm playing a rogue right now, and essentially most of my gameplay, 80% of my gameplay, is just auto-attacking. I know some classes have that much worse. Looking at you, paladins, wheelchair spec. Point being, I'm personally not a big fan of how slow the specs play. I know some people are. However, I do prefer how it is in retail, and I'm okay with the easy specs. I honestly prefer to play the easy specs because I'm a lazy sack of shit. However, even with the easy specs, like I'm talking like Havoc, Demon Hunter, Guardian Druid in retail WoW, there's at least fillers in your rotation, so there's no downtime, so you're just not sitting there auto-attacking. Again, in Classic, I'm personally not a big fan of it. However, I know some people are, and that's okay. Now, a minor thing that I'm not a real big fan of in Classic WoW is going to be training the weapon skills. Now, I don't really like that. In order to learn a new weapon skill, I have to first, okay, so I'm a rogue, I use swords and daggers, right? If I want to use a mace, I have to equip the mace and basically go around missing mobs the entire time, swinging at them, training my mace skill, until it's eventually a high enough level where I can actually hit them. I'm not a big fan of that. It is an RPG element. However, in my opinion, it is an RPG element to the game that doesn't promote any good gameplay whatsoever, and it's just an unnecessary random element that I think, and I'm actually happy they took out in retail WoW. I just don't like it. Maybe it's just me. Let me know below if you disagree. I'm sure you will. Now guys, those two things are just two examples of something that I would personally never ever want to see return into the live game. However, I do feel there are some inconveniences and annoyances that are actually beneficial to the game. I'll give you an example. One of those things is the fact that you don't learn a mount until level 40, and you have to walk everywhere besides flight points, of course. Now, before Classic came out, I'm always hearing, because vanilla players let you know everything, right? Essentially how expansive or how big the world felt in vanilla. And it's not something I ever truly got until I started playing Classic WoW myself, and I had to walk around everywhere, and everything felt big. Yes, sure, absolutely. It is really annoying walking around everywhere. I don't have my mount yet. I'll get that next level at the time of recording this video, of course. Anyways, Point being, the fact that I have to walk everywhere, to me, it makes the world feel so much bigger than it actually is. And I'm sure if I were flying around, I wouldn't care at all. The world would feel tiny. I'm sure it'll start feeling a bit smaller once I have my ground mount. Maybe not, I don't know. But point being, there are some annoyances to the game, like not getting your ground mount to level 40, that I personally feel are actually beneficial to the game. And I think they're okay. Now, just to wrap up my thoughts, guys, before I actually end this video, of course, Classic is fulfilling to me. It's very meaningful to me, everything I do, right? However, for me personally, the most important thing that I've noticed about Classic WoW so far compared to Retail WoW is that for me, guys, it feels like my time is respected. What do I mean by that? In Retail WoW, if I put, like, let's say 3 hours into a raid, for me, it's probably going to be a waste of time. Even if I get an item, guys, chances are it didn't roll to the highest item level. It didn't roll a tertiary stat. It didn't roll a socket. I don't get a proper item for the amount of time that I put into the game. It feels like my time is completely wasted. While I'm leveling in Classic so far, if I get an item upgrade or if I go back to town to learn an ability, essentially I get something out of the amount of time that I put into the game, and it doesn't feel like my time is wasted and it's actually respected. And I feel that's something, for me personally, that's the most important thing they need to fix in Retail WoW, essentially so it doesn't feel like a complete waste of time. Anyways, guys, that's the video. I just wanted to wrap my thoughts up there real quick. Obviously, I think Classic WoW is an amazing game so far. I can't wait to get to the end game to experience the full game, of course. Let me know what you guys think of Classic WoW so far. I'm sure I'll get some comments from people saying, yeah, Classic is the absolute thing, even though they never played the game. But anyways, guys, please leave a comment below. What do you think of the game so far? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? All that crap. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want more content, and don't forget, Halo 3 was, of course, the best Halo game ever, and if you think anything else, you are wrong. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.